Unfortunately, just didn't get seen. It wasn't done. It wasn't executed properly. It was done too quickly. I wanted to do nose art on the dropship, a great big cartoon like the Second World War, you know. And what I came up with is the slang that was in the script was that aliens were always bugs, and these Marines were bug stompers, is what they call. So I did a big cartoon of an eagle, kind of a screaming eagle with a kind of a futuristic machine gun, firing down with giant combat boots on, flying, you know, falling and firing with cartridges flying in a circle, which was to go on the side of the nose of the dropship. And then the slogan was, "We endanger species." and Jim had jackets made with that on and everything. And then in the movie, it's about that small. You can't see it. It's way too small. And it just got by me. I wasn't able to. So anyhow.
We shot at the Acton Power Plant, which was a decommissioned coal generating plant within London. And that was pretty difficult. We found it was a perfect location.
What Jim really liked about it was all the walkways, the stairways were all grilled. So in effect, when you looked down, you could see from top to bottom. There were problems. It was all rusty. It had been deactivated for about 2 years, 3 years, all rusty. But the biggest problem was asbestos, because, you know, all the lagging, it was an old coal-fired one, and it was all covered in asbestos everywhere.
We had to spend a great deal of money with asbestos mitigation to make sure that it was safe for us to film in. And by the time we were done with it, we had to take readings of the air quality in there multiple times a day. And we found out that it was actually healthier there after we'd mitigated it than it was in the sound stages at Pinewood Studios.
Sid Mead obviously is a futurist. His APC was gigantic, you know, it had wheels 10 feet in diameter. And to get anything of that scale, you get big trucks that operate in these huge open cast mining areas. But what did come to mind at that time, British Airways over at Heathrow do have these big towing vehicles. The tyres of those about 6 feet in diameter. And at that time, they were just re-equipping all the towing tugs with a new look, and we managed to get hold of one of the old ones. It had 6-foot diameter wheels. There was one problem though, it weighed 75 tonnes, and when we purchased it, we brought it in here, we removed 35 tonnes of lead, and that became the APC, or the base of the APC, but we had to then build an interior, so we made a sliding door where about 3 people could get inside. It was converted by a company near here in Slough called Lynn Cars. It did bring on 1 or 2 pains though when we took it to the power station that we used for the Alien complex. Because it weighed so much, we had to reinforce the floor, because, you know, these power stations are as deep as they are high. So we had to do a lot of shoring up of when we could almost see the road rippling, but it came off very well. We were very hampered for budget. The whole budget for the construction was about $1.5 million, which is not much money, really, on the scale of what we were trying to achieve. When we were doing Ripley's cabin, Sid came up with a scheme of how Ripley's apartment could look at, and of course, you know, he can become very complicated. So I unscrambled it a bit and made the elements that we could actually vac form, and by adding and subtracting we could actually change each piece. The little toilet was actually a British Airways 707 toilet that we'd bought on block, where she wakes up when she's had the dream again of the chest burster. We could actually get her putting the taps on and sloshing at her face with water. The whole thing looked as it should. And I remember Gail saying to me one day with Tim Hampton, you know, we're kind of seriously running out of money, where can we save money? And I said, the only place we can save money is where we haven't spent it. If we've built the set, you haven't saved it. If you don't shoot it, you've only saved the amount of time to shoot it. So she said, well, what have we done so far? So I said, well, hypersleep and, you know, all that bit. So she said, well, let's cut it out. So I said, we can't cut it out. You know, it's an integral part of the film. So I went back to my office and I thought about it, went down on the floor and spoke to Jim. And I said, look, you've got to have the set. You know, come what may, you've got to have it. But we do have a problem with hypersleep, because, you know, if you want it all controlled with pneumatics or hydraulics and all that, it's going to cost a lot of money, you know. So I said, you know, if we could do it in the old-fashioned way on wires and stuff like that, you know, because we had built one of the capsules already, or we'd got the kind of the bones of it. And I said, you know, if we mirror it as well, we double it. If we double mirrored it, it goes into infinity. We've got thousands of people with us. It's one of the old gags, use a big mirror, you know. We should double everything. I've just done my dining room anyway. With all this kind of old rubbish we'd got, we made a great set, I think. We'd used everything that we had. All the lockers came from down on the set that we'd used for the armoury, and we got old vending machines. And if you look carefully, behind each hypersleep there were these big kind of circular things. They were helicopter engines. You know, it was amazing what you can do.
I was very, very pleased with how all that stuff turned out. Gee, because often when you're doing it, you worry a lot until you really see it cut, almost until it's cut together. Maybe a set might not look right until it's cut together in just the right way and lit in just the right way, and suddenly it all comes to life. You just sweat it until you see it, and if you buy it, you buy it, you know, and that's nice. It really held together.